Welcome to the 13th episode of the DINER podcast. Let's grab a coffee and chat about the recent happenings in the art industry. Today, we are going to chat about really fun topics such as Inktober and other monthly art challenges, recommendations on the best anatomy books, and also stick out till the end to find out how artist reach has changed on Instagram with real numbers.
Ooh.
Hey Rita, so how are you?
I don't know. I am okay, I guess. I'm trying to accomplish an unaccomplishable thing right now.
Is it related to Comprep?
Yeah, everything in my life is related to Comprep.
Life is convention.
I have other friends who are preparing for conventions and they're like, oh, I feel like this, I feel like that. And I'm like, honey, you're gonna feel like save your depression for November, okay? Now it's Comprep time. Because when you're doing something challenging, I feel like, for myself included, you start to get into these existential thoughts like, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? Is this really important? Where is my art headed? Where's my life headed? Is that all there is? My art sucks.
Comprep, you go back down to the pyramid of needs. Just straight back down. Did I shower today?
Yes, like, oh, I've neglected this and that. Oh, I haven't washed my oh my god, is this my life now? Like, oh, I'm so tired. Because your brain just needs to rest, So it starts creating these thoughts in your head of like, some of these thoughts are absolutely normal and should be listened to, by the way, because like, as we probably said a million times on this podcast, that overworking is not okay, but at the same time, if you have a little challenge that you want to accomplish, and you have to push yourself for like a month, I don't think it's a huge deal, basically.
Speaking of challenges for a month.
Oh no, I promise this was not intentional.
That was such a good setup, I swear to God. As we are nearing the end of September, and some artists are finishing up Swartztember, I remembered that during October, we also have a really popular art challenge called Inktober.
Ooh, popular and controversial.
For those unaware, it's a month-long challenge where originally you were supposed to do an ink drawing every day of the month according to the prompts provided by the original creator of the challenge. And as it's gained more and more popularity, people started changing the rules and making their own prompt lists. A few years ago, there was quite a lot of a ruckus about this challenge since the OG creator, Jake Barker, started copyright claiming artists for using the name and logo. And I don't know much more about it. Maybe you know.
I do.
I don't have that big of an opinion on who's wrong or right, but a lot of artists decided to just make their own prompt lists and call it differently for each own. So that's why Inktober, as we knew before, is now different names like, I don't know, Monstertober, or like artist's first name, Ivettotober, So
Inktober.
Yeah, that's there as well. And yeah, so you know more about that? Could you tell me? Because I'm interested in drama.
If there's art drama, I know everything about every art drama ever. Like, I don't know what that says about me as a person, but unfortunately.
I think it's because it's so little of those and we're really hungry.
Oh, when you suggested this topic this morning, I sort of double-checked certain things. I kind of forgot that Inktober was created back in 2009.
Oh, wow.
So it's been ages ago.
Yeah.
So can you imagine this? So this artist guy who's an accomplished, like Jake Parker is an accomplished artist who's been working in the industry for years. So he has at that point, I suppose, pretty substantive following and people love and respect him. And he starts his challenge just for fun. People love it. This challenge blows up. People start basically promoting it by tuning in every month. Because if you remember back in the day, everyone was doing Inktober. Everyone. Have you done?
Of course.
No, but original Inktober.
Yes. I've done
I'm talking about just the original Inktober, because back in the day, we didn't have like the whole variety of Tobers we have right now. It was just Inktober and people were respecting the original prompt. The hashtag was a huge thing. the Inktober hashtag. And then 10 years later, suddenly people start receiving cease and desist letters for their art. And
can we copy strike people?
That's the thing. It's like suddenly, can you imagine, like, it's been 10 years. You're selling your whatever zines, original art that is like titled Inktober, and suddenly you have these lawyers coming after you, sending you these letters, not only saying that you have to take the work down, but you have to compensate the creator.
Even that far.
So people were rightfully pissed off. And then Jake Parker comes back and he's like, okay, you guys, the lawyers just went, a bit over the top. Calm down. Everything is fine. His statement pretty much divided the art community because the way that he formed it.
I remember reading it, yeah.
It's like, basically I reread it this morning and it's still so. Did you know that back in 2020, a year after this scandal, Jake Parker wants to release a book titled Inktober? So it's very fitting that in 2019 suddenly...
The timing is so bad.
Interesting how he suddenly decides to copyright this giant hashtag name, that is super popular, and then claim that, guys, this is for the sake of the community. Can you imagine if some racist draws something awful for the Inktober and says it's for the Inktober? Like, it'll tarnish the name.
Yeah, that was in his letter, right? I remember reading it, and basically the way he defended from all of this, I don't know if he thought that was a good idea, but he just said there's people who are out there to get us all as a community, and they're here to tarnish our name, and bad people, racists.
And pirates. It's funny when he mentions pirates because the pirates are people who are selling t-shirts and mugs with the Inktober, Freudian slip from me right here, with the Inktober.
What's in the head?
What's in the head? It was funny because he talks about these awful people, and then the next slide is like, it's not about you guys, if you're having issues with my lawyers, just contact me, we'll settle this. But if you want to sell your artwork, do not call it Inktober. Do not use the logo. Do not call it Inktober zine. You can call it Ivetto zine, and then inspired by Inktober or something like along those lines, following Inktober, but it shouldn't be like the title line, basically. On one hand, he's like preaching about helping the community and everything like that, and then he's like, you can't use Inktober anymore.
I feel like the way he might have done it better is just being clear about it.
Just honest.
Yeah, I want to release this book, and it's gonna be a problem with all of the other Inktober called books because I want people to find my book on like Amazon or something. Etsy. He should have just came clean.
Yeah, he should have come clean. I think it would affect his personal image better. At the end of the day, I think it would still make people mad because, again, if it's 10 years, people already made this challenge their own, in a sense. It's a community challenge.
Yeah, that's true as well.
And suddenly he
waited so long.
Yeah, suddenly he's like, oh my God, this is marketable. Money can be made. So he releases this book back in 2020. Do you remember the book?
I don't remember that book, but I remember at the same time I made a PDF because I made like a coloring book during the Inktober challenge as well.
Okay.
I wanted to challenge myself and make like a product that one year. And I was so comfortable with this idea because everyone was doing it. Well, not everyone, but like a lot of people. I had a lot of examples and it was normal. And then that same year as I released it, this all blew up and I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I dodged the bullet, I guess, because I called it, the whole book was about girls with cat ears.
Yeah.
And I called it Inkumimi because it's supposed to be Inumimi, but I played with the ink. Genius, I know. But I was like, I dodged the bullet. Oh my God. But I can understand other creators because it might be something like so scary, right?
Yeah.
Where you have your book out for years probably.
Yeah.
And then suddenly some lawyer comes in like, you're using this title, which is copyrighted now.
Yeah.
It wasn't before.
Exactly.
We're like, what?
Not only that, like remove this book now and also compensate the creator. Absolutely fishy that he has done it out of the blue, it seems, without informing anyone. It hasn't been a problem at all. Creates this bogus reason for it. So the book comes out. It's basically Inktober all year round, it was called. And it is an inking book. It's about learning how to ink. It's basically an inking tutorial book. Do you remember that controversy?
Not really. Actually, I skipped that one somehow.
Okay, so the book comes out, more like a preview of the book. And Jake Parker is showing, a flip through of the book, some preview pages. And then there's this guy called Alfonso Dunn. He's not just a guy, he's actually a prominent YouTube video artist, a teacher, one of the OG YouTubers, art YouTubers actually. He has a book about inking of his own. And just from the flip throughs and previews, it looks suspicious like his own book, like Jake Parker's book looks like his own book to a T. And you could say that, Rita, tutorial books look the same in a sense, They're just a limited amount of ways where you can show a technique. Ethan Baker, I think his name is, YouTuber, he made a whole inking book he compared every book on inking he could find. He made a whole chart of their similarities. And still, Jake Parker's book looks too similar to Alfonso's. I will try to explain. It's about the arrangement of the book, how these sort of topics are placed, the names of the topics, the examples shown are way too similar. Because a lot of people to this day still say that, it's just a tutorial book and similarities are inevitable, which is true. But to this degree? Anyways, there was basically a drama. There was a huge divide in the community again, because some people were on Jake's side, that it's just a tutorial book, no big deal. And then other people are like, the similarities are too much, which ended up with the book. I think it has been released in very small quantities because there are a few reviews left on Amazon, but it's discontinued at this point. The publisher basically put it on hold, and it's been on hold since forever.
It's crazy how in a really short period of time, this Jake Parker dude, he just went straight down with his
reputation.
Yeah, reputation. It's insane.
Yeah.
He did all the wrong things.
There's no mention, by the way, of the book on his Instagram anymore. I tried to find it, but I couldn't.
Never happened.
The original statement about Inktober is still there. The brand Inktober is still there. There's a website of Inktober, and actually last year, Jake Parker did a collaboration with Moleskine. So yeah, and there's Inktober t-shirts as well. It just reminds me of those buyers that he was talking about. He just wanted to sell the t-shirts himself. With peace and love to Jake Parker, we all gotta earn that dollar. But at the same time, I think this is where the community became furious and basically started making their own October prompts. They didn't want to associate with Inktober anymore because it became so corporate, even when you think about it. It's not about the community anymore. It's about a guy trying to make money out of something that the community made so big.
Yeah.
It's just my take.
Inktober as a brand, in general, it wasn't really built by Jake Parker. Like you said, the community built it into what it was. The only thing is that the community was not the original creator, and therefore, the copyright whole thing.
Yeah.
But it still doesn't make sense to do it like this. If he was someone who did all of this from the start, he made it into a brand, he capitalized on it, inking tutorials with this title, then it would have been his brand, right? But when I was doing Inktober, I had no idea it was created by that one guy.
Yeah.
Honest to God, I haven't been even aware of him.
Yeah. Inktober aside, I guess we have a ton of Tobers now. And not only Octobers, it's Septembers and also Novembers. Are you gonna participate?
So this year, I'm not planning on doing much for it. Maybe some drawings that I'll post on Instagram here and there.
Yeah.
I don't know, with every year, it's harder and harder to find time for these challenges, as there are so many things I do in the day. I've been through it 3 times. And I'm really proud of myself for that.
Okay.
At the start, you always start off strong, but the hardest part is keeping up, right?
Yeah.
Usually around the middle, day 14, you really start to want to just quit this dumb challenge.
Yeah. Now, just remember my friend, she was doing the Inktober challenge, and we would meet up every week. At first, she's so excited about the challenge, and then it's pain. Just pain. She's just going through the motion.
Yeah, the fact that I went through it 3 times, I'm really happy of my self-discipline. No matter how hard it's been, I have to do it, and I just went by it. And
did you finish all the days, like every day, or did you skip some days?
No, I did 3 times. I did it fully.
Wow.
And then all the other times that I participated, I kind of trailed off. If I'm trying to actually participate in it, I have a different mindset coming into October.
Mm-hmm.
And if I just begin to, oh, maybe I'll participate this year, maybe not. With that mindset, I always don't treat it as something serious. I don't schedule it in my day. And then obviously I don't finish it or just do a few days. So on those years, I noticed that it's just better for your own self-worth and your mind to just know that year, maybe you'll do it, maybe you won't, but you're not going to force yourself. And if you really want a challenge, then maybe next year you come in with like, okay, I'm going to do this every day, no matter what, and then you try to go for it.
Original Inktober, I participated once. And I also did a drawing every day, like a good person, like a loyal to the challenge person, I suppose. And then I did Monster Girl Tober, like me and my friend just did it.
That was popular, I remember.
Yeah, so, and this one also I did loyally, I did one drawing a day. And at first these drawings were very detailed. And then by the end, they were becoming sketchier and sketchier.
Hey, listen, as long as you went through it, right? Who cares?
And then I did Uvember.
I remembered that one from you. I thought that was a really strong one.
Thank you. Basically, the idea was Uvember, it's like every day it's a different color hue. I mixed Uvember with like monsters. So it's like different color, different monster, and they were wearing like their own outfit and stuff. And I also tried to do different kinds of art styles as well, like different techniques.
And Uvember is in November, right?
Yeah. At first I did it every day, and then I went insane, and then I didn't do it every day. And then I think I finished it a month or two after the initial day. But do you know that some people prep for all these challenges?
Yeah. I was one of those people as well. When I was doing that bigger project of having a coloring book, I did prep as well, because it's just...
Is that cheating?
I don't think it's cheating. Like, if you're doing something that's obviously like a product, you need a certainty that it's going to be even throughout. And I don't know like what the prep is, to what extent do start drawing it or what.
Yeah.
But I had sketches, I think, before October started. I think I sketched them all out, and I was just inking throughout the whole month. But I don't think it's cheating. Like, come on. Who has time to do this?
No, for sure. I think it's absolutely fair, because making a project on its own is a challenge, no matter if it's like 1 month or something. The fact that you're just posting something every day, like you prepped for it, and then you have the ability to post something every day is already like great. But I think that people should also be, I guess, more transparent about it, because I think for maybe newer artists who are very impressionable, maybe it seems like, oh my god, are they doing this like every day? And it's like, no, they prepped for
it. But let us know, guys, if any of you are participating. And I'm interested as well to know, if you are participating, which prompts you're going to use. If you have decided yet.
Which Tober are you participating in?
Inktober?
Yeah.
And also like the episode, please. That helps us reach more people. And moving on into the next segment, I heard that you had a book recommendation for me.
I don't know if I talked about this book before. Basically, I always have 1 million tabs open, but recently I have been cleaning tabs, I have been cleaning emails. I deleted so many emails, and one of the tabs was actually a book that I wanted to study. My normal life will start in November, so maybe when my life starts, I will get into these studies again, because I really want to do like a whole session of like months of just studying. That would be so cool, just to level up and studying. And if you're insane about going into detail, for example, movement. Anatomy books usually cover movement like as a side note, sort of. This is how much the arm can move. This is how much the leg can move. This is the spine movements, this kind of stuff. But if you want to go deeper, and I mean super deep, like to Mariana Trench deep into movement, I have a book recommendation for you, and we will link it in the description. It's called, pardon my Italian, Struttura uomo manuale di anatomia artistica Volume 2.
Oh.
Volume 1 is just anatomy, basically. And then volume 2 is movement. It's all about movement. So these guys, these two, I think, Italian guys, they just went crazy about movement. It starts off pretty basic about like basic movements body can do. And then it goes super deep into walking, running, and jumping.
Nice. That's all you need, right?
Yeah. It's deep as an anatomical level deep. And then it goes like, okay, this is what the leg is doing from this angle, this angle, this angle. This is how walking looks from up top. And this is like the graph that your foot creates as you're walking, you know, the structural sort of the movement graph and stuff. Yeah.
I would have to check it out. That's cool.
They went so deep into like putting sensors, I guess, into people's feet, and then they're to make like these graphs of like what kind of shapes the foot creates as it moves in space.
Chipping people's feet.
It's insane. I haven't seen anything like it about movement before. It's so detailed. You have drawings, you have photographs, you have like basically like more artistic stuff, and then you have like very scientific looking graphs, and yeah, it's insane.
When was it released?
It was released in, I think, 2017, so it's not super old. It's available for free in archive.org, actually. So yeah, it's actually a public domain. Free resource for y'all.
Yeah.
Really detailed, really cool. So if you want to go super deep into the movement of the body, I do recommend this book. Yeah.
Nice. Thanks for the recommendation. I have not heard about it and I want to check it out, especially the fact that it's free, okay? I love that.
Oh, you can buy it on Amazon. Like if you want the book, it's still available.
We can link both.
Yeah.
So, like you said, your recommendation is really in-depth anatomy. And I would say I would have another recommendation for anatomy books for people who don't want to learn that in-depth and are more lazy like me. There's a book by Michael Hampton called Figure Drawing, Design and Invention. It's a really well-known book, but I'm just putting it out there into the world. If there are any art babies who, like little Billy, who have not heard of it, definitely check it out. So far, I've not read the Struttura Uomo Manuale, blah blah. I did not read that book, so far, this is the best book that I've read.
Okay.
The Michael Hampton one, and it's kind of the number one I would recommend to students, since I really enjoy how the author takes complicated objects and turns them into understandable, simple shapes. I think that simplicity of geometrical figures helps artists learn so much faster and easier.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you are going a step forward, read Rita's book.
Yeah, definitely. If you're more intermediate, advanced, then I recommend the Italian movement book. If you're a beginner, don't even go there.
Yeah.
Because it looks very scary.
Yeah. Okay, so we all know that as artists, we should be active on social media in order to be seen by clients. We love money. However, these days, the key point is the phrase to be seen.
Ugh.
As we know, a lot of social media platforms are hard to keep up with due to the demand being, we should post at least 3 times a week to get any people looking at it, at the drawing. But recently, or let's say over the last year, Instagram has become a big topic, oftentimes being critiqued by its own creators, as Instagram likes to say that the most important thing for them is the creators. However, I think currently during this big chase with TikTok and YouTube on who's going to be the biggest video platform out there, Instagram has lost its way, at least a little bit, okay? It came to my attention a post by an artist called, okay, I'm gonna say this, LWBV 2001, okay? It's on Instagram. We're gonna link it description down below. This artist started talking about the significant decrease in reach that they have experienced in actually only 2 years. So the post compares 2 screenshots of older posts from 2021 and another post from this year. So 2 years ago, their analytics show that a whopping 1,200,000 people have been reached by a simple image post, while this year's post, I would argue same quality of artistry, okay? It has only 51,000 people reach.
Whoa.
Where did the million go? Million, 100,050. Where?
That's like, it's not like
And
50%. It's like 90%.
Yeah. And this creator is really big. I follow them everywhere. So I know that it's not because they did anything weird, to my knowledge. And there's no other related factors other than Instagram, okay? But now the creator was wondering, so with this post, they were wondering why this could have happened, and maybe the fans knew, an answer. They were asking their audience what might have caused it. Was it because of the Instagram update with the whole reels being really important, the video making? Or because they're active in NFT, which I didn't even know they were active in NFT. Or maybe because they draw a lot of skin in their drawings. What do you think, Rita? Which one might have been?
Well, NFT could have played a role, especially last year, because people would mass unfollow a lot of creators because of NFTs. But at the same time, a lot of people don't care what the artists do to sell their work, basically, or to earn money. Because an artist can be a literal scammer and they're like, I still like their art though. Well, basically, I think the algorithm is probably the biggest reason, but yeah.
Well, yeah, I think my theory is very simple. I don't think it's because of the NFTs or the revealing drawings. I think Instagram's algorithm does not care about that. I don't think Instagram would choose not to push NFTs. I feel like it doesn't matter to them. My theory is, what I came to notice is that if you don't do any Instagram reels, the short videos, your account is as good as dead. Like, you're gonna get some people, okay? If you have a big following, maybe. But the reels are what drive the account, like nothing else. And the thing is, it's weird because when you do a reel, you're not getting that many people interacting with it either. But I don't know, you just have to do them, I guess. Because that is what ultimately is being pushed right now. It is also, in my case as well, the part which gets, all the reach. And reach equals people seeing more stuff of you. And I actually watched an interview recently with Adam Mosseri, who is currently the head of Instagram. It's probably like Adam Mosseri or something, like probably not that
butchering
cool.
His name.
In that interview, obviously, like always, he mentioned they prioritize creators. Woo. But he also said that the reasoning for changing the simple timeline, making the For You page, the following page, and making reels in general, is due to well-needed change. Because according to the app designers, if the timeline did not evolve, it would have died off completely. Because apparently a lot of people who are active on there are around school or university age, and they mostly just use stories looking at their crushes and so on. Like, he literally said that. I was like, what? That's the majority? So I thought, okay, I get it from, their perspective. But then, it sort of makes this question, like, what are we as artists and other creators are supposed to do now?
This is bullshit because, like, I love how in these kind of cases, I actually watched a video today about funeral directors. Unrelated, but basically you take some viewership, let's just say 10%. They're like, yeah, and treat the 10% as if this is a majority of your users, and then make an argument out of it. Like, yeah, these users exist, but it doesn't mean it's the majority, and it doesn't mean that's what all of the creators want. They never like released a poll asking us of like, what do you guys want? How do you guys feel?
Yeah,
it's always like, oh, we looked at the statistics and we know what you want. You know what's best for you.
I think because the creators are not really what like Instagram and all the other apps are focusing on, right? It's probably the audience. If the audience was not there, Instagram would, not have sales. And obviously the creators are the really important factor of why the content is being made for the audience that comes in. But if the audience is not happy, it doesn't matter what kind of content there is there. Looking at TikTok, there were so many creators back when it was Musical.ly as well, right? But people weren't really jumping on it that much. But now it's going crazy. It's just booming. It's probably because we have so much variety of content there now. And the way it's structured is not only a music app, and I feel like that was from the app designers. It was their choice to change this, and not the creators who were, dancing to the sped up music.
They're chasing trends, basically.
I guess the answer, is just simply to make IG reels and hope for the best. I think also the amount of work you have to put in always becomes bigger as more and more people join the platform, to become digital creators as well. I love digital creators.
I think that the main issue right now is that artists don't really have a place where we can just post and interact with fans properly. People are flocking back to Instagram because Twitter is becoming more of a hole.
X, literally.
Yeah. Like a butthole, little star. Yeah, that's what it's slowly becoming. So people are going back to Instagram, like me included. I'm sort of like, hey, let's be more active on Instagram. It's like, oof, Instagram looks weird. And I think at some point, people, either it's going to be Blue Sky, either it's going to be Mastodon, either it's going to be some other platform, but artists will settle somewhere, majority of them. Yeah, and whatever the new site will be, again, because these sites as trends, they're changing, and every site just wants to be like the most popular site. So it's just sad that artists are losing their basically a home, and they have to travel somewhere else, and this other place starts to change.
I feel like we've been traveling so many times.
Yeah,
I'm kind of excited to travel with everyone else again. For some reason, I'm like, okay, this platform is bad. Yo, I'm packing my bags. I'm going there with you. Like the little bag on the stick. I'm just walking in that. I'm excited because I feel like platform moving is kind of a community thing. I feel at home moving platforms.
I mean, in a sense, it helps you to refresh the following, refresh maybe the people you follow. Like there are advantages to that for sure. Like rebuilding, it's not only bad, but I would also suggest if you can invest in your own websites, like have some kind of a place
obviously
where that is more permanent, basically. So no matter what happens, your own site is always there.
Yeah, and I think in general that competition rises, so your skills and what you offer must evolve as well. So we just have to make reels and hope for the best again. Just to reiterate that.
Yeah.
That wraps up our episode for this week. And guys, if you have any topic suggestions or ideas, please share in the comments below. Drop a like on the video since it helps us reach more listeners. Thank you for sticking out until the end, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye!